Macari, Law, McClare and Hurd. It's remarkable that we've had so many legendary strikers who are Scots, and there's no pandering here. The men I've mentioned are in the top 25 United goal scorers of all time. But before all of them, generations before, there was a Scotsman who tore it up for the first great United side of the 1900s who deserves your attention. A man for the big occasion, often at the centre of controversy. He was a man who gave his life for his country to earn redemption. That man was Sandy Turnbull. Born on the 30th of July 1884 in Kilmarnock, East Ayrshire, Alexander Sandy Turnbull came into the world in the Scottish mining village of Hurlford, the first of 8 children of coal miner Jimmy and his wife Jessie. As a teenager, he became the main breadwinner after his father was killed in a pit explosion in 1900. Down in the mines would be a dark, unforgiving place where he would spend the next 2 years supporting the family. When he wasn't at the coalface deep below the surface, he was turning out to play football for his hometown, Hulford Thistle. A series of notable performances piqued the interest of top-flight Bolton Wanderers, but before the contractual papers could reach the Turnbull family home, second-tier Manchester City offered him more money and he was rescued from a life down the pits. He earned £3 a week, far more than the paltry sum a miner where he lived could earn. Just 18, the Scot scored on his debut against Bristol City, netting 11 more times before the season's end, which secured the Citizens' promotion to the top flight. In his first season in the First Division, he netted 21 times to take City to runners-up spot, and was part of the club's inaugural cup winning team. The 1904-05 season was even more significant for chasing the title that eventually came third to Newcastle and Everton. However, it transpired that superstar Billy Meredith had tried to bribe the Villa captain, Alec Leake, in a crucial match. At the FA inquiry, left to face the music by the City higher-ups, Meredith rebelled and, reminiscent of today, revealed a slew of financial irregularities at the club, designed to circumvent the fixed £4 maximum wage cap. The fallout was catastrophic, the whole squad penalised and banned from playing. Across the city, top-flight new boys, in their first season at these heady heights since becoming Manchester United in 1902, manager Ernest Magnall eyed an opportunity. He approached some of the best of the City players, fullback Herbert Burgess, and forwards Jimmy Bannister, Billy Meredith and Sandy Turnbull, to make the move across the city to Bank Street. Sandy signed for United at the beginning of December 1906 from City for £350. The ban was lifted on all the players on New Year's Eve that year. All 4 of these new United signings made their debut the next day in a 1-0 victory over Villa, Sandy Turnbull claiming his 52nd minute debut winner. Turnbull was a natural goal scorer who, with his stocky 5'7", 12-stone frame, had an aggressive playing style that served him well, and he was not known for pulling out of any challenge. On top of that, he had a ceaseless work ethic. The Scotsman was also versatile, able to neatly slip into the inside left or centre-forward roles. He was one of the most well-known out of the delicious forward 5 for United as the trophies started to rack up, alongside the likes of Harold House, George Wall, Enoch West and Jimmy Turnbull, who was no relation. Only the legendary Billy Meredith was more of a household name. The following campaign saw him score 25 goals in 30 matches, helping United to their maiden league title for the 1907-08 season by a record points margin. This was added to by the first ever Charity Shield as champions United turned out against Southern League title winners Queen's Park Rangers. The next season saw a slump, but United reached the FA Cup final against Bristol City. Turnbull once again showed his star quality as it was his strike that won the cup, and the 24-year-old was a firm fan favourite. Sandy Turnbull was a passionate advocate of a players' union, which was conceived to help players and or their families if injury cut short their careers, or as in some cases, they even died on the field of play. Further, they wanted to remove the punitive salary cap. Along with teammates Billy Meredith and skipper Charlie Roberts, who led the movement, they collectively suffered being penalised from the FA and Manchester United themselves, as all the Reds players backed the fledgling organisation, now being branded as the Outcasts FC. Despite heavy pressure from the establishment, the players held out, ensuring the survival of the AFPTU, which would later become the Players Football Association. Back on the pitch, and in 1910, United moved from their not-fit-for-purpose Bank Street Stadium to purpose-built Old Trafford, with a cash injection from chairman and owner John Henry Davis. Turnbull scored the first ever official goal at Old Trafford in a 4-3 home defeat to Liverpool. In the 1910-11 season, United claimed their second league title by a point from Aston Villa. Sandy was still knocking in the goals, scoring 19 in 38 matches. The club followed up with a second Charity Shield win, with a record 8-4 triumph over Swindon Town, the Scot getting on the score sheet. After the departure of inspirational manager Ernest Magnall in 1912 to Manchester City, United and Sandy's fortunes started to wane. The club struggled badly, to such a point that they were in real trouble of being relegated by the end of the 1914-15 campaign. With 8 games to go, United beat Liverpool 2-0, but then Sandy was caught up as a main figure in the British football betting scandal. It came out that an unholy alliance of some United and Liverpool players conspired to ensure a 2-0 Manchester victory. Along with teammates Enoch West and Arthur Whalley, as well as 4 opposing players, Turnbull was banned from association football for life, as was the severity and notoriety of the scandal. Sandy played his last game for United on the 30th of April 1915, and in all scored 101 goals in 247 matches, earning himself 2 First Division title winners' medals, an FA Cup win and 2 Charity Shields. Following the ignominy of being banned, and with the Great War now in full swing, along with the football programme being suspended in October 1915, within a month Sandy Turnbull had signed up, maybe for patriotism, maybe as an act of contrition or redemption. He enlisted with the Middlesex Regiment, the 2nd Football Battalion. By the 3rd of May 1917, Lance Sergeant 28427 Alexander Sandy Turnbull had been transferred to the 8th Battalion of the East Surrey Regiment. He'd gone over the top in the early hours. I was in the thick of the fighting in the Battle of Arras in France, as they advanced towards the village of Cherisy, 10 miles to the east. During that German assault, Sandy was wounded in the leg, but despite that he fought on and didn't want to retreat. He was then lost sight of. It was thought and hoped that he'd fallen into German hands. However, the Germans didn't declare that he was a prisoner of war, and his body never found. He was declared missing in action, dead. He was just 32 years of age. Sandy left behind a wife and 4 children. After his death for his heroism in the war, Sandy Turnbull was posthumously reinstated by the Football Association in 1919. So that was the life and times of a working class United hero and legend, a man who escaped the pits but couldn't escape controversy, a Red who was a potent goal scorer but had his life cut short on the fields of France just 2 years after he was given a lifetime ban from football. So what do you make of Sandy Turnbull? Please comment below and like, share and subscribe. Thank you as always for your support.